We never know if our Zoom's working or Charlie's just
watching
creepy.
girls go by.
Okay, all right. Okay, Charlie. All right, Charlie. Okay.
You gave me the song cue.
Yeah, you did.
I got to tell you, there was a great Steffi tweet during the hiatus there when somebody accused her of being a neoliberal hoe because she had her dad's picture on the wall.
Yeah.
Yes. I said I wasn't 4 Goldwater. I was 3, and my dad was. Okay. Oh, and I did say you can suck my liberal. But okay.
You kind of did.
You did.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
But I figured that was just desperation.
That was just a cry for help.
Yeah, that was loneliness.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Oh, by the way, a correction tweet, Chris.
Oh,
Yeah, we have
yes.
the biggest audience of correctors in the world.
Yes, White Koi Summer tweeted counterpoint. Rhythm is not a dancer. Dancers are dancers.
Okay, it's duly noted. The Stephanie Miller Show duly notes that. All right,
And
Charlie.
we regret the error.
Charlie, I was badly.
Dancing. Yeah. I'm sorry.
All right, Charlie. Let's bring it back in. No, I was badly not quoting your piece, but referring to it. That is so true. What you wrote, the Phantom Revolution. You said in America we're facing a rebellion against imaginary threats with very real consequences, and you just go through the whole thing. None of the threats that the GOP fearmongers about, they're not actual. Critical race theory, all of the things, they're not real things that threaten real people.
Taught in schools. It really isn't.
Yes.
And if it was, all the kids would be bored and start shooting spitballs at each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not particularly arcane, but it's a very nuanced law school debate.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not teaching critical race theory in 3rd grade.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's anyway. Also the Hill headline. See, I told you the Hill sucks. Court's ruling on Texas law doesn't threaten Roe, but Democrats' overreaction might. And you said the basic thesis is absolute horse. Because okay, what is not to be hysterical about this Texas ruling?
Right.
I mean, it is as awful as we think, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, whoever that was you quoted right before I came on, about halfway through the 2016 presidential campaign, I stopped doing anything on the premise that it can't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because everything could happen.
Yeah.
And this is incredibly wide open. I'm very encouraged to see Merrick Garland's going to, do a little bit to Greg Abbott what the Kennedy brothers did to Ross Barnett down in Mississippi when James Meredith tried to enroll. It's time for the federal part of federalism to assert itself again.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and also your headline says it all. Expand the Supreme Court. Do it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. In an unsigned order, the highest court's coward majority ruled that unconstitutional laws are cool so long as they're enforced by bounty hunters. That's exactly it, Charlie. In a nutshell, it is a cowardly shadow docket, unsigned. Cowardly is the only word you can use to describe it.
For the moment, yeah. I mean, I don't have any real optimism on this Mississippi case that's hanging fire.
Yeah.
That they won't overturn Roe completely.
But, in your piece, you point out, you go to the heart of the Sotomayor dissent. What she said, it cannot be the case that a state can evade federal judicial scrutiny by outsourcing the enforcement of unconstitutional laws to its citizenry. Again, that is the core of it, that you boiled it down. And then, you quote Kagan as saying, the majority's decision is emblematic of too much of this court's shadow docket decision-making, which every day becomes more unreasoned, inconsistent, and impossible to defend. And the only remedy is, you write, Charlie, expand the court, do it tomorrow. Jesus Christ, a 5-4 majority just ruled that a cheap legal 3-card Monte game at the heart of a law was too clever for the Constitution to address. That's why there's a number of layers of why this is terrifying, right?
Oh, right. I mean, if this legal principle, if it can, gussy it up enough to call it that, were allowed to prevail, you could have bounty hunters resisting federal law everywhere on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I love that you got the Satanic Temple. tweeted abortion laws in Texas violate our religious rights, and they've taken legal action, and you said the enemy of the enemy is my demonic entity. But I mean, it is kind of hilarious. They're charging the religious
video of the woman accusing the entire school board of, from who knows, bug tussle or wherever, of being demonic entities.
Yes. But I mean,
that was my favorite video of the week. Was that you're all demonic? Stop voting for demonic entities, people.
Right.
But I have to say,
I have to see what the position on the issues is, but
right. But there was actually a serious piece on why Satanists may be the last best hope to save abortion rights in Texas. The non-theistic organization, which is headquartered in Salem, Massachusetts, nice touch, joined the legal fray this week by sending a letter to the U.S. FDA demanding access to abortion pills for its members. The group has an established abortion ritual, so it argues that its members should be allowed access to abortion drugs for religious purposes. So I love that they're coming at Greg Abbott with the religious liberty bill that he championed, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, except that, the conservative court, thanks to the late Antonin Scalia, has already ruled that Indian tribes in Oregon can't use peyote in their rituals. And as somebody pointed out, peyote has been a sacrament for centuries longer than bread and wine has.
Yeah.
So I don't think the 5-4 majority is going to have any problem telling this, the Satanic Temple that it's not it doesn't qualify as religion or something. I don't know, but I do think I believe that the city of Salem, Massachusetts, did give them an extensive tax break to headquarters there. No.
Well, I mean, into the fray, Texas-based Bumble and the CEO of Match, the dating apps, along with Uber and Lyft, have announced they're helping women battle the state's draconian new anti-abortion law. I mean, that's good, right? A new poll found 2/3 of college-educated workers would not move to a state with an anti-abortion law as restrictive as the one passed by Texas. Abbott defended the law, calling it a part of the state's pro-business climate.
No.
So far, business is not buying it. Charlie,
I'm sorry,
right?
the pro-business, he's confused. The pro-business climate is what allows unregulated cement plants to blow up and take entire towns with them.
Right.
This is the theocrat part of the Texas platform.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned this Friday, but I believe children are the future, but the TikTokers will save us, right? You saw this? Yes. Thank you. Yes. The organization Texas Right to Life urging citizens to submit anonymous tips to its website to enforce the new anti-abortion law. A handful of TikTokers decided to put whistleblowing into their own hands by flooding the website with Shrek porn and other which I didn't know was a thing, deliberately other false information. The effort to troll the anti-abortion group, spearheaded by Gen Zers Victoria and Olivia, who both said they felt appalled by the recent, good for them, the recent, legislation. I found out about this website and thought we have to do whatever we can if they're going to use the internet against us, the very people who were raised on the internet. Many TikTok users have deliberately sent fake information to the website, including tips with titles like Greg Abbott farts and calls to abort Ted Cruz. I feel like these are my children. I feel like they have to be Stephanie Miller Show listeners.
That is something that a lot of politicians, and most of them, I think, Republicans, haven't caught on to yet. And that is, the kids are a lot better at this than the rest of us are.
That's what they said, Charlie. They said with these anti-abortion people ought to realize this may only seem like a silly trolling campaign to us young people, but this is our way to try to ruin their plan and buy us some more time to get Roe v. Wade federally codified. Yep. They're smart. He said, I don't think these anti-abortion realize the internet isn't their space, it's ours. We grew up on it and we know how to navigate it. The effort was to get more people talking about this problem. The most important thing right now is we need to do more. We need to protest. We need to phone bank. We need to go and vote Greg Abbott and these other Republican lawmakers out. These kids are savvy, Charlie. They're like,
I mean, the first real example of that was, I think, were the Parkland kids.
Yeah.
They were being dismissed as having, a couple of days of shock and trauma, and then within 10 days they had thousands of people in Washington marching,
which included you and I. Which included you and I until I dropped you like a bad habit because you were too slow.
And Sue from Rockville and a whole bunch of folks.
Yeah.
Well, left you in the dirt, but the thought was there. I was with you in spirit.
And getting back to the Shrek porn, anything can be porn, Stephanie, if you wish hard enough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I see what you did there. I learned that the
I know.
hard way this week.
Porn is a wish your heart makes.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that? Oh, you can just turn anything into porn? Like
can turn
Shrek
anything
or
into
anything?
porn.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
All right.
Not that I know, but I
All right.
hear.
Well, Charlie, let's talk about shadow docket, which I hadn't even heard of before now. But so Senate Democrats will soon hold a hearing examining this week's emergency Supreme Court ruling that declined to block the abortion law. The hearing, to be conducted by Senate Judiciary, will probe the so-called shadow docket of emergency appeals to the Supreme Court that is relied on with increasing frequency to issue rulings, often of massive consequence with little public deliberation or notice. The court's emergency appeals, of course, over the past year have favored religious groups and Trump's administration. So I swear to God, Charlie, I feel like they have found, like, the Republican recall out here, just new and different ways to cheat. I'm like, well, I've never heard of the use of the shadow docket like this.
Well, no, I mean, it's not, and it's not, I mean, it's not cheating if you pervert the function of something that's always been there, but was like, gathering dust on a shelf. I mean, somebody was sharp enough to look at the shadow docket and say, hey, we can do this. And there's nothing illegal about it. It's, as far as I know. I think that Justice Kagan was right in her dissent to this awful ruling last week, in that it's being misused and, obviously abused by a 5-4 majority. And I think it's distressing that 5-4 majority is so gutless. But I mean, I have to say, it's not really cheating. It's there. It's something that has to be fixed. Not that I have any faith that it will be, but it's like gerrymandering. Gerrymandering isn't illegal yet.
Yeah,
it should be.
Yeah.
But partisan gerrymandering certainly should be, but it's not. It's just that the Republicans have taken all these kind of arcane loopholes in the Constitution and supercharged them.
Yeah, and I have
to give the masters of the dark arts credit, that's pretty sharp.
Charlie,
because it's a way to be a minority. It's a way to enforce minoritarian rules.